And now, after 8 months of racing, the Volvo Ocean Race is back in European waters. Just 2 legs remain, and the leaderboard is incredibly tight. Charles, your Dongfeng race team, you've got a 1-point lead over Mapfre, the hottest boat in the fleet, a 1-2-1 scoreline on the last 3 legs. Bouwe Bekking's team Brunel, just a couple of points further back. It really couldn't be any closer.
I think there is not really strategy. Before, maybe we play a bit too much match racing with Mapfre. And now we have another boat in the game, so I think we just have to race and see what's happened. Maybe at the end of the leg, we be a time to think about controlling or doing something, but the leader is very short.
Well, I don't think is it working? Yeah. I don't think we have to change too many things. We've done very good legs, and obviously the last one wasn't that good for us. But we're thinking changing not much. Of course, we have debrief and what we've done, but it's different leg coming out, and I think it's better for us. And we'll try to start strong and keep the whole leg pushing the whole way.
Pressure is on these guys. They are ahead of us, and we just have to beat them. Like what I said in Newport, that's the task. Beat the 2 red boats, and then we're getting closer, and we will see what's going to happen in the last leg. That will be a great finish if it's going to happen on the last leg. Maybe even in the last import. Who knows?
Yeah, well, that's the goal. We want to do a good job. We've had 2 pretty poor performances since the disaster, so I think for us going forward, it's pretty important we get a decent result in one way or form for the rest of the race. But, more importantly, I can't get a bet on. Do you know where I can get a bet on? I've been running around all Cardiff trying to work out how I get 10,000 quid on Bouwe to win the race. No one wants to take the bet. So in Australia, we love to have a punt.
Yeah.
The biggest yacht race in Australia is the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. We all have a punt on it. So I just thought maybe if someone in the room, or more importantly, maybe one of the guys in the red shirts want to take my bet for 10,000 quid at Brunel or Win. If I'd spent 20 million euro of my sponsors' money, I'd want to be pretty confident I could put my own $1,000 up, wouldn't I? Anyone want to take the bet? Charles. Anyone want to back against Bouwe? Charlie, you get plenty of money. No?
Yeah, I think getting out of the Bristol Channel could certainly be really tricky. A lot of tide and not a ton of wind, at least to start with. And then Simeon referenced the high-pressure ridge, which is sitting just to the west of Ireland. I mean, it seems like the speed at which that's moving east changes run to run. So, it could be a little bit easier as we go offshore and makes the tactics kind of simple, or it could be quicker and we could be going up the coast. So watching how that plays out is going to be pretty critical as well.
So there is a crew rule in this race that gives incentive to having at least 2 female crew members on board each boat. And at the time when it was announced, it certainly generated a lot of comment.
If everyone is happy and can do his skill the best, you really perform well. And I think we've been working with Martine and Emily from the beginning, and they've done an incredible job. And I think looking back now, it's especially the communication that's the strong point. I think if you have a group of men, you have a certain way of communicating with each other, and it just might be sometimes a bit primitive. And certainly now you get more discussion in, and there's more openness, and that raises the level of the competitiveness between each other, but also on board. So I think it's a huge success, and I think it's been a huge opportunity for offshore sailing to bring more talent into the sport, right?
So a female will be part of the winning team of the Volvo Ocean Race this edition. But it's beyond this. When the circus leaves town, all the guys have got gigs lined up and sailing lined up, and the girls are still trying to find that opportunity, find that ride. Because if we spend 4 years where they're not given the opportunity to drive or to trim or to gain experience, we're in exactly the same place in 4 years' time. And, these guys have politically correct, said nice things, and they've ticked the girl box. But, have all the girls actively sailed the boat at the same level? Have they been treated the same? Are they financially treated the same? I don't know, because I can't speak for any other team. But the truth is, in 4 years' time, if this happens organically and girls are automatically in the crew, then we've moved forwards. And I think we're still a really long way from that, if we were honest.
Start with you, Charles. What's it been like having 2 female crew members on board?
Especially regarding the Netherlands. But as well, I think the big...
This part of the world, I think the same ridge where we went into when we came here for the finish, that's sort of moving toward.
Have teams that carry a very strong environmental message through some of your partnerships. What have you seen?
Sound guys. We saw certainly a lot of things over the course of the race.
And what everyone's seeing. And what's highlighted the issue for us on Turn the Tide on Plastic is the data that we've managed to collect.
Helping with some navigation, is that a reason you brought him on?
Yes, also Fabien is.
But we're thinking changing not much. Of course, we have debriefed and what we've done, but it's different. Like coming out, I think it's better for us. And
the top events in our sport: the Vendée Globe, the Volvo Ocean Race, the America's Cup, the Olympics, so that this isn't the story anymore.
Thanks. Why have you done that?
Well, it was on the plane.